Hi, everyone. My name is Jason Noah, and I work in the Office of Medical Student Services in the School of Medicine. Specifically, um, I work with our student life programs. And so, Medical Student Services is really our student affairs office. And so, anything that you would imagine or think about that a typical student affairs office would do for undergraduate students or graduate students, that's what we do, just obviously focused on medical students. So a little bit about our how our office is set up. So our main office is in Birmingham, and really it's comprised of our academic support services, our career support services, and our student affairs or student life services. We also are the liaison between medical students and UAB disability support services. So if we have students who come in with a disability that's already documented, we can help ensure that that documentation and those accommodations carry through into medical school. We also have some students who come into medical school and discover a disability that they didn't know existed before. And so we can help them get set up with UAB's DSS office to ensure services and accommodations. We also help students get access to UAB and UAB hospital counseling and wellness services. So as a medical student, you are also a UAB student, and so you have access to the full range of counseling that UAB offers to all students. We do have two counselors that are embedded with UAB counseling who are specific to medical students, and so we can help get direct access to those individuals as well. Because you are a medical student, you also have access to counseling and wellness services through UAB Hospital. So even though our main office is in Birmingham, we have offices on each of our regional campuses. And I always like to point this out because there may be some fear, there may be some misunderstanding, or just some questions about what it will look like if you're assigned to the Huntsville, Montgomery, or Tuscaloosa campus and for your third year. And I just want to make it clear that we have student affairs, we have medical student services and medical education, faculty and staff who are at each of these campuses and who can really help those students who are assigned to one of those campuses ensure that whatever services you need and whatever services you had in Birmingham for your first 2 years continue once you get to your regional campus. So what do we do in student affairs and student life? One of the main areas that we focus on are what we call milestone events. And these are events that you participate in as a medical student that really sort of represent the rites of passage that you go through as a medical student on your way to becoming a physician. So new student orientation, white coat ceremony, match day, commencement, all of these are run and managed through our office. And really, again, our goal in these is one, for you to have fun and to feel the pride and accomplishment that comes with reaching these milestones, but also to give you a connection with the larger medical community so that when you go into the workforce, when you become a resident, when you become an attending, when you become a practicing physician, you will have the shared experience of a white coat ceremony with all of your colleagues. You will have the memory of a match day that you can talk about with your colleagues. And so we sort of see them as part of your development as a professional and obtaining your professional identity, in addition to being opportunities for you to celebrate your accomplishments in medical school. So we also in our office advise and sort of give leadership to our student organizations. And so we have anywhere from about 70 to 80 student organizations that you can be involved in. And we break them down into sort of three categories. So we have specialty interest groups, and these are really kind of self-explanatory, but these are groups centered around specialties, subspecialties, fellowships to give you information about what it's like to be a physician in each of the specialties. These are also where our students get connections to do a shadowing, mentoring connections with faculty and residents who are in the specialty. And so it's a great place for you, especially in your first couple of years, to really explore the specialties headed into your third year, when you obviously will get a much more a different and much more expanded perspective on all of the specialties. Then we have affinity groups, and affinity groups is sort of a different, it's kind of a weird term, but it really just means, it really just means all of our orgs that are constructed around students who share a common identity or a common interest. And so we have the military medicine interest group, we have Med Pride, we have the wilderness medicine interest group. And so again, it's just groups that form that aren't necessarily focused. Sometimes they're focused on medicine directly, sometimes they're not, sometimes the medicine aspect is more of an indirect part of what the affinity group does. But again, it's students who share a common identity or who have a common interest that sort of unites them into these groups. And then we have local chapters of national and regional organizations. So the American Medical Women's Association, the Student National Medical Association. Chances that if you have an interest in more regional leadership, more national leadership, policy, even some what it looks like to lobby on behalf of physicians and medicine on a state and national level. These are opportunities that you have to get involved in those organizations. Our student government is called the Student Senate, and it functions very much like any other SGA would on any campus. And so there are regular elections, and the student government, the Student Senate, really is the governing body and the voice of the students to the administration. So there's opportunities if you have an interest in being involved in class leadership to run for office in a variety of ways in the Student Senate. And we also have a learning communities program. So many medical schools have learning communities of some sort. Some call them houses, some call them societies. We call them learning communities. And you are divided into a learning community when you start medical school, and it's based on your clinical campus assignment. And so really the idea is that you will travel with the people in your learning community all the way through the 4 years of medical school. So if you go to Huntsville for your third and fourth year, then the people in your learning community will go to Huntsville for their third and fourth years as well. And that, of course, is the same for Birmingham, Montgomery, and Tuscaloosa. There is one faculty mentor, lead mentor for every learning community. They have time that is dedicated to that learning community. They meet with you on a regular basis to do coaching, to do mentoring. There are learning community sessions focused on cultural competency, ethics, medical ethics, wellness. When you get into third and fourth year, there are things like how to deal with emotions on the wards, difficult situations that come up. And then as we get closer to residency, how to deal with interviews, how to answer tricky interview questions. So it's really designed to be a curriculum that that grows with you as you go through the entirety of medical school. There are also learning community reps that are part of the Student Senate, which we talked about previously. So each class elects learning community student reps, and those reps are in charge of planning socials for the learning community, as well as being sort of on the ground front lines to make sure that students are doing okay, that people are getting the information they need, getting if they need access to resources, getting them connected to medical student services to ensure that they have the resources that they need. And if they're struggling, that somebody is aware so that we can help them through whatever is going on. And then the last part of what I want to talk about with you all today is our career success program. And so some schools call it careers in medicine, or some medical schools call it careers in medicine. We tend to use the term career success, but it's basically the same thing. And it's really just our programs in our office and our sort of focus on helping you prepare to match into the residency of your choice. And so we do a lot with first and second years on specialty exploration, again, using some of our specialty interest groups for that. We talk a little about how to think about how you're going to start building your CV for residency through leadership, through service, through whatever the things are that you have an interest in and you want to make sort of your brand as you think about as you think about residency. And then, of course, as you get into third and fourth year, the focus shifts more into solidifying your specialty selection, the ARIS application process, your medical school performance evaluation, and then the interview and match process when you get it well into your fourth year. The Career Success Office also trains. We have a team of career advisors that are faculty in each of the specialties, and they do training with them to ensure that they have the most updated information as the residency match changes each year so that they can do the best job of advising all of our students. So that's just a little bit about the Medical Student Services Office specifically as it relates to student life and career success, and hopefully gives you a little idea of some of the resources that you'll have available to you. My contact information is there. Again, my name is Jason Noah, and if you have any questions about any of this, feel free to email me, to call me, and we'll be happy to chat with you or answer anything that wasn't clear in the presentation. So best of luck as you continue through the interview process, and hopefully we'll see you at the UAB Hearsing School of Medicine really soon. Thanks so much.